Hey y'all, and welcome back to Slash and Burn. How have you been? I hope good. As ever, I'm Steve, and my co-host is Kera.
That's true, I am.
What's up with you?
I just had my first taste of Buffalo Trace since last March, so that was really exciting.
Buffalo Trace is it's my house whiskey. I guess it's your house whiskey.
Yeah, it is.
As well. It's we were just commenting on how it tastes like comfort and home.
And happiness and good times.
Which might speak more to our personalities and or addictions than anything else. But it's true. And it's so hard to find in stock right now. Because of all of these fucking bandwagoners.
Right?
Who are jumping on our shit.
Right? Isn't it horrible?
Do you remember when we took you to Atlantic City for your...
Oh my god, yes. It was 22nd.
22nd birthday.
Yes.
And
that was the nicest thing anybody's ever done.
We took a bus, and I was telling people on the bus how I had gotten this new bourbon called Buffalo something. I couldn't remember what it was, and the closest I could come up with was Buffalo Meander, even though I knew that wasn't right. So while we referred to it for that, before it wormed our way so deeply into our hearts
and souls,
that it is now inextricable from our very beings.
It's true. If there's a good time going on, Buffalo Trace is not far away.
Ideally. Again, if you can find it.
We've been,
But now everybody talks about how good it is and all that shit, so you can't find it anywhere because it's sold out all over the place. Anyway, this is Whiskey Bitch.
Yeah. They saved this for the Whiskey Cast.
Yes. We might have a side project coming up. But we're back with another tag episode this time around. I think I've mentioned this the last couple of times, but we're going to try to do fandom tag from here on out. So rather than diving into a specific fandom, we're looking for specific examples. That's a word. Examples of a type of fanfic from all across the multiverse. And today we're going to talk about expansion and by extension inflation. But Kira, why don't you let people know what they might be in for?
Oh boy. Okay. Earlier today, when we were talking about what our topic was today, and the original topic brought up was expansion, and I said, does that include inflation? And we couldn't decide where the division points were.
I thought that inflation was a subset of expansion, but I wasn't entirely sure.
And it seems that seems to be the general internet consensus on bodyinflation.org, which I figure if anybody's going to know, it's them. Because if you go to Know Your Meme, they have down that body inflation, also known as body expansion, but apparently that's not correct if you're actually part of the...
It's like all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
How much of an alcoholic do I sound like? Jesus Christ.
Moderately large. Wikipedia lists body inflation as: body inflation is the practice of inflating or pretending to inflate a part of one's body, often for sexual gratification. Which is pretty much what Know Your Meme says also. It goes on to say, who have inflated various parts of their body as if they were a balloon, typically focusing on breasts, buttocks, and stomachs, and the entire body. In situations where the method of full body inflation is done in the style of the film Willy Wonka, it has been referred to as blueberry inflation. Yeah. So I've come across that term a lot in my searches. I don't know about you.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's our topic today. Some people don't know about it, apparently.
Yeah, no, apparently there are a fair number of normies out there who are unaware of either of the terms.
Yeah. So if
know,
you are that
they
person,
didn't grow up on the same internet I did, I guess.
Same.
Right?
I think that I remember encountering this pretty early in my internet searches.
So I'm going to get real deep real fast.
I'm excited.
Just super early tangent. Do you think our children, and this, I am yet to have any that I know of.
My personal child
ladies,
is sitting a room away from us.
You have an actual one that exists.
I do
already. In this age of like you can literally just go to Wikipedia as you did and type in body expansion. Like Wikipedia has an entire sex portal on which you can click and see anything having to do with sex ever. And probably in schools, Wikipedia isn't blocked.
Right. Well, I mean, it's...
And almost certainly on your child's iPhone, Wikipedia would not be blocked.
My child will not have an iPhone.
Do you... Smartphone. By then we're all going to have cyber eyes.
Great, but...
My point is, do you think that our kids are going to have super warped sexualities, or do you think it's going to swing the other way and it's going to be like the utopian ideal of if all knowledge is presented to you, then you'll be able to make the most
informed decision,
and they'll know exactly what works for them. I realize this is gross because it's less gross talking about my potential kid because they don't actually exist, but your kid actually exists in that other room, so it's a little gross.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, I'm trying to keep a really open mind about stuff like that as far as, ew, gross, that's my kid. Like, yes, that's my kid, but it's also going to be a fully functional adult human being, and as such...
You hope, anyway.
Yeah. With me as a parent. But, no, like, this, I think, kind of goes back to the discussion we had, I think we'd had anyway. Like, what will I allow my child to look at on the internet?
Right.
Because part of the fun of looking at that stuff on the internet when you're younger is that you're not supposed to be. If I'm like, hey, here is a bunch of porn stuff, have at it. Like, she's going to be like, oh, man, gross. And, like, not be excited or amused or,
That
anything.
might be a pretty good tactic
if I want her to not...
Exactly. If you want her to grow up all sexually repressed and stuff.
Yeah. Be like, oh, hey, I'm just watching tentacle porn in here. Want to join me? And she'll be like, oh, God, not again. Gross.
But yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess my answer is I have no idea. I guess we'll find out, and it'll be a very terrifying future.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But, I mean, I think there's still going to be a lot of people who don't let their kids access the technology, even though it is there.
Right. I mean, probably the same kind of people who aren't accessing the technology themselves.
I don't think that's true.
Plus some neo-Luddites.
Yeah.
Who think that it's bad for kids.
I guess.
Even though basically every study had said that limiting screen time for your children is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
Whatever. I'm not lecturing to you. I'm lecturing to our audience. Bad audience. Don't believe what big media tells you, man.
Right.
Don't listen to the CNNs and the Fox Newses and the Reuterses of the world. You got to get down with Vine news reporters. 6 seconds at a time. It's the only acceptable chunk for news. Anyway, we're talking about inflation / expansion.
Correct.
My thought that was inflation had to do specifically with air or another gas.
I don't think
expansion
that's
would be
true.
any other means, but yeah, it seems like they are kind of used interchangeably almost.
It seems like a lot of the things that I've seen on the internet on this bodyinflation.org thread here is that expansion is more like when someone just like gets big, like growing,
like
whereas
means,
inflation
like
is like
a pineal gland malfunction.
Yeah, like whereas inflation is more like a specific part or parts of the body getting big while the actual person stays the same size.
Gotcha.
Again, I think it seems kind of liquid.
Okay, so I have 3, potentially 4. I think you have 3.
I have 3, yes.
So if you want to start, and then we'll either end with you or end with me, depending on whether I feel like reading my last one or not. I'm very conflicted about it at the moment. We'll find out how I feel in an hour or 2.
My first one is of the Dragon Age fandom. I've played parts of 2 of those games.
Is this a specific Dragon Age, or is it just
Inquisition.
Okay, that was the most recent one, which was a great game.
The characters are the major relationship, although there isn't really much talk about the relationship itself, is female Adar. I don't know who this, am I saying that right? I don't know who this character is.
I believe, I saw that too, and I thought that was weird. I think, I'm pretty sure I saw this exact same one that you're about to read, which is fine because I didn't pick it.
Good.
I believe that is if you pick your main character for the campaign to be female. I think that's what that means. I don't remember them ever being referred to as Adar.
Because it says Adar is transformed by a spell. She had always been a stick of a Vashoth.
Honestly, I don't.
Like, because I Googled and didn't really get any firm information. Like, you played through the whole game, didn't you?
I sure did. I did every single quest.
And you don't know who this is?
Right, so if that was the name of a character, I think I would have remembered it, which is why I think that is a moniker that they have standing in for the main character, which you get to name. Plus, that's the only character in the game for whom you get to determine their gender. So the fact that they say the female Adar, you know what I mean? Like.
Well, I thought it was like a gender swap kind of thing, so I wasn't 100% certain.
I hadn't even thought about that, but I really don't remember anyone named Adar. Maybe I only skimmed the story, so maybe as you read it, I'll get a better idea.
Well, the relationship is with Josephine, if that helps at all. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway.
I don't know how to explain that any better than going into a whole lot of detail that I might be wrong about. So.
I chose this one because it was relatively inoffensive, and also because this used magic to inflate the breasts. So I thought that would be a good example of a type of this thing. Also, I have some commentary on it.
When I started searching, I'm like, I definitely need some boob expansion.
Yeah.
Definitely need some butt expansion. Everything after that, wild card.
The
butt was harder to find than I thought it would be.
I didn't get any butt.
Butt was really hard.
Yeah. But anyway, so this story is called Tits Don't Lie by Ruby Magnolia. She had always been a stick of a Vashta. Sure, she had muscle from using weapons and from daily training, but she had nothing in terms of curves. Her chest didn't even warrant a breastband, and her hips were narrow along with her butt. At least her horns were impressive. Giving you any idea of who this is yet? So
you could... that is one of the horned people are one of the races of the Dragon Age universe, and you can make your character that.
So you're still going with...
I'm still going with this is the...
generic character.
I'm still going with this is the player character.
Self-insertion, kind
yes.
of? Okay.
Yes.
Adar winced and rubbed at her chest, still feeling the aftermath of the mind blow that had tossed her to the ground in their last fight. It felt a little puffy. Maybe it had bruised? The spell had dazed her for longer than it should, perhaps a testament to how weary she was. I thought you said you were uninjured, said Cassandra, sharp-eyed as always. Just a bruise, admitted Adar. Dorian was chatting away at Varric behind them, and Vivian was riding ahead as always. The puffiness wasn't there when they set up camp for the night, half a day away from Skyhold. Adar forgot about it.
And see all those other character names, I could instantly picture who those are in my head, so I'm almost certain that this is the player character.
Inquisitor, are you awake? Called a servant.
Oh, then yes, this is absolutely the player character.
Okay, good. Inquisitor, are you awake? Called a servant through the door of Adar's bedroom. She jerked awake at the noise, scrambling out of bed. Yes, for hours now, she said. Did you forget about the meeting? Asked the servant. Whoops, she had. They would be cross if she was late. Quickly, Adar dug about for fresh clothes and washed her face in the basin. A throbbing feeling spread across her chest. It was puffy again. Perhaps she had been bruised after all. No, I'll be down in a moment, said Adar, and her chest throbbed again. This is actually a pretty boring story. As I'm reading it aloud.
You can cut to juicy bits if you want to.
Yeah, I think I will. So she has to deal with some nobles, and they're really annoying, and she keeps, telling them what they want to hear, and her chest keeps twinging, as this comment says, as this, sentence here says. She gets back, and Josephine says to her, and Inquisitor, it is not normally my place to comment on your attire. However, I feel you may have forgotten to put something on this morning, she said, eyes discreetly dipping to Adar's chest. I never wear a breastband, said Adar. I assumed that you did, since you are more prominent today, said Josephine. She looked down.
Can you and all women forever refer to them as breastbands from here on out, please?
It's extremely inaccurate. I mean, unless you tie that real tight, it isn't going to really do anything.
I just mean call bras breastbands. It's more fun that way.
Really a band.
I mean,
I guess you get to say breast. A band. I'm picturing like a singular band.
Right, it's a band attached to some other stuff.
But no, there's like cups and all.
Right, that's what the band's attached to.
No. Anyway. She looked down. Her shirt extended slightly from her chest. Those were breasts. Definitely breasts. Oh, thank you for your advice, said Adar. How embarrassing. Josephine was by far her favorite person in Skyhold, and now Adar felt like a fool. Was that why the meeting had gone so well? The nobles had been interested, but surely they had seen more impressive breasts.
By the way, quick interjection.
Yeah.
When I played through Dragon Age Origins, Josephine, totally the one that I nailed. I played a dude, though. Although she goes both ways.
Oh, well, clearly.
Yeah, some don't. Some don't. I tried to nail the elf chick, and she would not fucking have me. She is straight up gay.
Well.
Yeah, I was real disappointed. Alas, Josephine, you were my second choice. Sorry.
Can you only do one?
Oh, no, you can, but
okay.
I personally, I just...
Are you going to go on and on about how true to your video game spouses you are? Because I remember a certain husband that you beat to death.
I just wanted him to divorce me.
So
I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to hit him enough that he would get the point. He
That's
didn't
what
understand.
They all say.
I know.
He made you do it?
No, I definitely did it. But he was more waifish than I assumed that he was.
He was
pretty waifish.
You beat him about the head a couple times and suddenly he's on the floor. Yeah. And all the townspeople are yelling.
It's like, no, this is just till he gets the point. And to be fair, in the end, I was right. He got the point.
Yeah, he definitely got the point.
That was Fable, the original, for anyone who's curious.
Also 1,000,000 years ago.
God.
So she's confused about the fact that she suddenly has boobs. I'm reading from the story now. She thinks she had figured it out. If she lied, her breasts would grow. If she admitted to the lie, then they would shrink. Or so Adar assumed, since she had lied to Cassandra and then redeemed herself.
Oh, man.
So all she had to do was not lie. So she's meeting with some people about what to do about it, and they're telling her to just not lie and to put on the breastband, and hopefully it'll smash things down. Can you tell us a lie? Asked Josephine curiously. Adar swallowed. There was no harm in showing them, especially since she could admit the truth and she would shrink again. I'm not afraid of spiders, I hate desserts, and I loathe training, she said. The effect was immediate. The number and speed of lies compounding the effect. Adar shivered at the sensation. If she wasn't careful, the lying would be more pleasurable than telling the truth. Was there a limit to how big her breasts could grow?
God, I hope not.
I am curious if this pleasant sensation is a side effect of the spell, because as someone who
has recently experienced breast growth,
yeah, I can tell you there's really nothing pleasurable about it. So either this author has never experienced that actual feeling, or it's supposed to be a side effect of the spell.
It could definitely be a side effect of the spell.
I just wanted to comment on that.
I don't remember that spell from playing the game.
It ain't great. This whole... I mean, don't get me wrong. The size is nice, but the ouch is not great.
Ouch. You should probably just rub them sensuously with some creams.
That would probably help.
Probably would.
I think I'm not supposed to get creams on my nips, though, because it might interfere with the milk. So I'd have to just go around. I think I killed him.
I was trying to be all sexy, and you had to bring
nips into
killing babies into it.
Yeah, that's me. What can I say?
Oh, God, this is...
What? What's wrong?
Okay, anyway, you were about to do something or read something.
Yes. I think that I was. More pleasurable than the truth, right. So, not pleasurable at all, in actuality. The breast band stretched, and for the first time in her life, Adar had noticeable breasts. The buttons on her shirt pulled slightly. Ah, said Leliani? Yeah, Leliana?
Oh yeah, Leliana, sorry.
Whilst Josephine and Cullen stared slightly in awe. I shall get Dorian on to tracking down the spell in question. Then we can find a reversal. Thank you, said Adar. She wanted breasts, not lie detectors, she mused, as she took back the 3 lies and felt them decrease. It was an unusual spell. The way they had just grown, softening Adar's chest, was somehow erotic. She was attracted either way, but now there was some part of Josephine that wanted to see how far the spell would take it.
Oh, so that's what you mean by, obviously, when I said that thing about Josephine swinging both ways.
Yes.
Okay.
That is...
At that point, she was just playing the role of concerned advisor to the Inquisitor, but now... maybe not so much.
There was an ache between Josephine's legs as she sat behind her desk and considered Adar telling all sorts of lies as a sort of role play in the bedroom. What if Adar grew so big that she couldn't fit into her clothes? Her breasts, large and plump, full of secrets and lies, expanding until they were too big to hold up. Oh man,
that's such a good line.
And Adar was left to rest on them. Was an image that Josephine hadn't considered, but now couldn't shake. Yeah, I thought that was...
That's great.
Some primo content right there. It was completely impractical and highly unlikely, but it still made her wet to think about Adar like that, telling falsehoods and Josephine dutifully noting them down so they could reverse it later. Them both drawing pleasure as Adar's chest expanded, Adar thrusting into Josephine's fingers from one hand, unable to move to pleasure herself, the others inside Josephine until they were both screaming.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, now it does make sense.
I had to mime the whole thing out before I got it.
Yeah,
That third line or whatever it was very important.
You guys can't see it, but Steve is acting out what I'm reading, and it's...
Anytime she says anything, I am acting it out.
Yeah, all of it. Just picture Steve, and his breasts full of secrets and lies have expanded until they are too large to hold up, and he's left to rest on them. His feet are kicking in the wind. But anyway, lying felt really good. The spell ignored no lie, even the tiniest one, like sending the servants away from her room because she was sick, added to her bust line. It sent a warm feeling through her chest and then a jolt between her legs, as if the two were attached. It was one seriously weird spell. It did require for her to lie to someone, though, which was a blessing in disguise, because she was trying to tell herself this absolutely wasn't hot, but it was. Cupping her new breasts gently, Adar squeezed them, finding them tender. They were small, even by Elhen standards, but it was more than she'd had. So she is meeting with some foreign dignitaries, yeah, and she has to tell a lot of lies to them, and her clothes are threatening to pop off. Lots of lies. Of course, now, I'm sorry to cut this short, lie, but I have another meeting scheduled, another lie, and I can't keep them waiting. The last part, Adar almost gasped out. Her coat was getting so tight it was hard to breathe, and the spell was making it increasingly better to lie than to tell the truth. She ducked into the storage closet, unbuttoning the top of her coat and waiting for the Orlesians to pass. I'm looking at you for pronunciation.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. That's a type of people.
They couldn't see her like this, she thought, pressing a hand to her crotch to relieve some of the heat building there. Biting back a whimper, she ran a hand over her massive breasts. They were impressive. They also seemed to lift up, as if calling attention to themselves. Perhaps that was part of the punishment of the spell, to show everyone what a filthy liar she was. At any rate, they weren't nearly as heavy as they should have been. She had to cancel her meetings. She absolutely couldn't go on like this. She goes back to her rooms and is like, OMG, I can't have any more meetings. And Josephine is there. And Josephine... We should see how big you can get, blurted Josephine. Controlled. I'll write down the lies so you can tell me the truth and you can go back to what you currently are. That, Adar said, looking at her chest, then to Josephine, that sounds like a wise plan. Josephine attached a new sheet of paper to her writing board and then filled the well with ink, and that's the end. So we never actually get to see them testing. Yeah, right? Right?
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah, fade to black, as I like to put it. How frustrating is that?
Very. That was, I can say...
It's pretty boring.
I mean,
I was bored.
Right. They tended to overstate the more boring parts of the game that the game tends to skip over mostly. But I will say, as someone who has virtually fucked the shit out of Josephine...
I'm going to look her up.
That was pretty... I feel that was pretty in character for her. Yeah? Most of those things that she said. Yeah, I respect and approve of their characterization of the character.
Good. She seems alright. Her eyes are a little too close together for my taste.
Yeah, I really wanted to nail that elf. God damn.
What was the elf's name, do you know?
Oh, God. I should, but I don't. Just type in lesbian elf dragon age.
Lesbian elf dragon age. Okay. I spelled lesbian wrong? Lesiban. I quit. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about her nose. Sarah?
Yeah, that's the one.
She's alright, though, I think. I think she's more attractive than the other one. I support your decision.
Or
your attempts, anyway.
God, I tried to get in her pants so many times, and she's so cool about it.
Oh, well, that's good.
She's like, yeah, no, just no. Sorry, we can still let's keep eating cookies on the roof. I like that, but let's not do any of that other stuff. You're just not sorry.
You gross penis.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lesiban elf.
Anyways, that's a race that was only in the very lesser known D&D source books.
But yeah, so that was my first story, and an example of breast inflation.
Well,
very boring one.
I'm going to jump from your breast inflation story straight to my breast inflation story, which is also based on a video game. Mine is called Blood of the Sun. It is by Helium Girl 77 from bodyinflation.org. They have a fan fiction section.
Oh man, really? I didn't even look there.
Sure do.
Farts.
They had some Sherlock stuff too.
Oh man.
I left it for you.
I have a Sherlock I have a Sherlock one, but it's from Archive of Our Own.
So this is,
and it's weird, but I'll get to that.
This is Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. Now, it wasn't spelled out. This was pretty recently written, and given the fact that they're talking, well, we'll get into that, but I have reason to believe that this is based on the Tomb Raider reboot, the 2013
the one that
reboot.
I played on my computer.
Yes, exactly, and not the old PlayStation version of Tomb Raider.
Pixels.
Right, because the rebooted Lara is a very attractive lady, but not as egregiously busty as previous Lara.
That's true. I was impressed and a little disappointed.
So the breast enlargement angle, I think, makes more sense on postmodern Lara than original Lara, if you follow my meaning. So Lara goes tomb raiding with her mentor, and they stumble across a weird altar, and Lara, somewhere along the line, hurts her ankle, and she gets like a weird, like, swimmy feeling in her head. But her mentor, I don't think it's her dad. In the newer games, it's her dad, but I don't think this is her dad. I think this is after her dad is dead. Anyway,
in the newer what?
The newer Tomb Raider game.
Oh. She was always looking for her dad in the old ones.
I didn't remember that well. Is that possible? He got lost in the old ones? In the new ones,
she was always looking for him.
Okay. In the new ones, he has committed suicide before she begins adventuring because he was disgraced because of his thoughts on some artifacts that existed somewhere. And so her life mission is now to find those artifacts and prove that he wasn't out of his mind. Anyway, she gets this weird swimmy feeling in her head, and then they fall asleep. And so this is where I'm going to pick up the story. So this is a page break delineated by about 30 tildes. The female leans back fully, smiling, his respect releasing her from the need of proofs, for a moment, for a heartbeat. Her body is drawn across the slab, shadowing her eyes with one hand against the zenith of the sun. The golden disc gives no relief, and she relents, inhales, and folds arms back across the expanse of warm igneous stone. Relaxes. Outreached as the condors span, she is at once and at one to the Hanan Pasha. Opened to the spirit of this place. The look that Kera is giving me.
You can't see me, but my mouth is just hanging open.
The understanding that surpasses knowledge, bound in a moment of awful surrender. She is not of the people, both capitalized, but she is of age, and in the place and time of offering. It is enough. 30 more tildes. She ripples at the touch which is not touch, all hyphenated. Her mouth forming unconscious surprise. She breathes, drawing in the heady scent of the jungle for what seems like the first time. Rotten wood and fermenting roots. Her chest heaves, quivers. The tightening fabric of her blouse betrays the blessing.
Blouse?
Cotton.
Did my dad write this? Sorry.
The cotton teased apart. A thin blush of perspiration inculates, I don't think that's a word, and Microsoft Word agrees with me, within. Incubates, perhaps, I think was what they were going for.
Inculate. Inculate. Definition at dictionary.com. To implant by repeated statement or admonition. Teach persistently and earnestly.
So it is a word, but I don't think that's the right word.
Yes.
At all. She opens her eyes against the glare. Somehow it troubles her less. The void is blue, vast, comprehending. Her gaze falls to the surrounding bowl of the mountains. Peaks rise against the vault of the sky. Something stirs to cognition. Lara? She bolts awake, gasps and clutches, feeling the realness of her disbelief. Bigger. The sense of strain tightens across her. Fine stitched garments plucked apart by an invisible hand of pressure. In a moment, she is brought into the fullness of womanhood and beyond. Oh! Lara! Her hands part one span, then two, to fall underneath the arc of her breasts. A low sibilant noise mounts within. The people of this place called it the Snake of the Wind, all hyphenated.
Snake of the Wind.
Messenger of Inti. They knew he would come to the daughter and whisper within her the secret known only to birds, clouds. But this one knows only the heterogeneous pulse, rising within her heartbeat, merging into her. Thwap, thwap. Beyond, that's not the sound I think my heart makes, but okay.
Mine either.
Beyond outstretched fingers, buttons scatter like prayer beds. I'm going to assume that was supposed to be beads.
Nope.
Spilled from a novice's hand. What's happening? What did you do? 2 yards away, he may have stood in another world. The understanding that has guided abandons him, leaving him curiously stricken, unwilling to accept the doors he has opened. I didn't. Shock blanches her face, and she takes short breaths. But the snake draws longer, deeper.
Hot?
Crescents of bluish color spill about the deepening shadow of her cleavage as her blouse is sundered button by button.
Sundered?
Within, a thin lace of foolish undergarment already lies, straining to burst. An orgy of asphyxic fumbling. Fingers find release. Breath. Unbound, her swollen bust pushes out.
Swollen?
Rising like dough through kneading touch.
Dough?
Or guanabana? Guanabana. Ripened heavy on the tree.
Can you spell that? Guanabana.
Guanbana.
Is that one word?
Yep.
Cancer killer. Big Pharma doesn't want you. ...
Who'd have thunk? Ripened heavy on the tree. Yet even now they grow strangely bowed. That's a nice way to put
sagging.
Big old saggy. As if seeking the kiss of the sun that gave them life. Wouldn't that be?
That is a lot.
Other way around?
I'm picturing like these terrifying like two boobs like
it goes down and then up. It's like a roller coaster. Not heavy, she gasps, sensing their utter strangeness through intimate familiarity.
I would hope so.
Her eyes flow as pools of conscious terror, subconscious longing. There is no shame. Many felt fear in the moments before the issue rope was loosed and they took the same high path. Larger than her torso now, her breasts intimate their secret, pushing up as much as out. So maybe they are doing a fucking inverse banana or whatever you want.
That or they're just like, I don't...
Just like you stepped off a cliff. In their sacred presence, her companion remains rooted to he spot. I'm gonna guess that was either the or his. Earthbound, uncomprehending, unable to share her blessing. Lara, you're... No, wait, get some of the gas out. You can breathe out, burp or anything? He ventures desperately.
I think this guy might be a little confused as to how boobs work.
A moment of lucidity flashed into anger. Honestly, it's my boobs, not my stomach. They're not connected, you know. She laughs wildly, feeling the edge into hysteria.
So it's not just me, okay.
Listen, don't panic, Weekend. Who says I'm panicking? I'm the one blowing up like a... Don't say, listen, Lara, it must be, he says, trying to back away, but the spectacle leaves him helpless to aid or deny. He has become an outsider again, a bystander. Bigger. Her face is shaded from the sun. Oh, God, I skipped down too far. Her face is shaded from the sun, golden rays crested about the rounded domes before her. Warmth brushes her nipples, and she feels rather than sees them cajoled into perking grace.
Cajoled into perking grace.
I know, right? This is some straight up poetry. Palms cupped to the juncture of her ribs. I think there's one too many words in there. She tingles at the electric arc that... Kera just mimed that one, by the way. She tingles at the electric arc that jolts across her breasts, the matchless expansion straining her fingers apart. Slowly, inevitably, her shoulders rise under the insistent tug, drawn upright from the table, head tilted back in the air, hair gliding across the stone. Yeah,
so
exactly
her
like
boobs
you're
are,
doing
like,
right
taking
now.
off.
Exactly, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, I think the altar is in front of her, as the
so
table
they're,
is
like,
in front of
sitting
us.
on
So as they're sitting on the table, they keep
Okay.
pushing her further back.
Alright. Alright.
Like a fucking ball. Ooh, bigger. And the sensation washes over her, body flexing under some invisible, intimate compulsion, bucking against the table. Perhaps she wishes it was just the pressure, the fear that makes her ache so. But some kindled secret blushes along her body, teasing each nerve alight, the fierce heat a lover's touch against her. Enriched with complicit desire, the blessing ablates her natural curves, taking her rounder and fuller, honoring the sun. So I like that the idea that this is just some great sun ritual where they just want her titties to look as much like the sun as possible. So they're just going to keep getting as big and round
Big
as
as
they
the sun.
possibly can. Yeah. And then eventually they'll start creating nuclear power as well. Seated on the lip of the altar, her world is now defined by 2 rising globes. Not quite translucent.
Oh, no.
I know, right?
But I have that in one of mine, too.
But shimmer shaded as a dream. Their strange geography maps out in canyon and pole, shadow and light. Disbelieving, she presses against their firmness and immediacy, feeling their relentless lift rebound against her. You seem troubled in some way.
All the talk about maps was making me wonder if they're talking about veins or horrifying stretch marks.
I would figure veins.
Sorry, a cat bit me.
But I'm not exactly sure. Can't see. Try. Push them down. But she can't.
I think it's a little past pushing them down at this point.
Bigger. Beyond the span of her arms, her inflated femininity sways gently, becoming entangled by the wind.
What? Wait a second, mister. Entangled by the wind?
Entangled, so they're like...
My God!
They're all wrapping together and whatnot.
Oh, no.
She is pulled upright, balls of her feet resting on the dais. Boots skate over the ground as if etching new patterns in the gnarled stone. And again, the flush of sensation makes her whimper softly. Part of her must understand what is coming, dividing her between fear and discovery. No, please, don't want to. But she does. Bigger. A futile reaching as her peach-pink flesh strains upwards. Inflated expanse now equaling her height. Holy shit, right?
That's big, though.
The deep, resonant hiss renders her bust taut and drum-like. Her hands, slick with perspiration, seek purchase on the solidity of the altar, find none. She takes one unreal stride on tiptoe, a second to teeter at the rim of the summit. The plaza an abyssal plunge hundreds of feet below. A helpless tremble, the flush takes her over the edge.
Wait, so she's standing on a cliff?
Apparently the altar is very near a cliff. Or it's a metaphorical cliff.
Oh, okay.
I haven't decided yet. I didn't
right.
read this closely the first time that I was copying and pasting.
Gotcha.
Detached, she watches a bead of sweat break from the cusp of her breasts, falling as if weakly sensed by gravity, a libation of salt and water for the jungle beneath. But her secret moisture is offered to another element, and meshed into sky buoyancy. Her arms hang limp now, but her feet wave helpless, high above the canopy. Slowly, irresistibly, she begins to rise, gyrating with the breeze.
So she's flapping in the breeze.
She absolutely is. Words leave her as floating understanding fills her senses. The anchor of her reason slipped from the earth. She is a bubble in an ocean of air, drifting higher and higher, suspended from twin spheres of buoyant delight. She is lofted toward a pale blue heaven. Many tildes. He makes no sign, but sits cross-legged by the altar, watching the post-noon shadow creep out from its shelter. Above, a mote is lost against the radiance of the sky. Many hours till sunset. The end.
I don't even know what just happened.
How great would it have been were that the end of Rise of the Tomb Raider? You go through all of these hours of questing and shooting bad guys and recovering all of these relics, and you finally, hey, my dad was right. It turns out that this crazy thing was actually here, and I met the prophet, and he actually is immortal, and I saved his people, and I turned away the bad guys, and no, my tits are taking me into the sky. Goodbye.
I think that would probably be the most appropriate end for the Tomb Raider franchise. If you think about it.
Yeah, no. If the sales of the new series start to stagnate and they're like, well, we can't do another one.
Yeah.
That's how they should end it. Absolutely. Yep. Just
fly into the sky on helium-inflated boobs
with a fart noise, or several.
Yeah, I think one long quieting fart noise as she fades into the distance.
It fades out.
Yeah.
Just as she does.
Yes.
How poetic.
And then there's like a twing. That's my
starburst.
vote. Yeah. That's my vote. So.
Okay. So that was my entry into the boob expansion.
I think you win this one.
Yeah, I was pretty happy that I found that. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think to look there for fanfiction. I feel very sad.
Well.
next time.
To be fair, I only went there because I was so disappointed by what I was finding on AO3 and fanfiction.net.
I found nothing on fanfiction.net. All of mine are from AO3.
And part of the problem is that when you search for expansion on either one of those, they're all like, this expands on episode number 392 of this stupid bullshit that no one cares about except for me.
Right,
exactly. And not, this expands on some lady's hot ass. Like, yeah, it was tough to wade through all of the horse shit to find what I was looking for. Anyway, so you probably got another one.
I have two more, and I'm torn because one of them is they're both gross. This is hard. I think this one's grosser. But the other one is weirder.
That's tough. That's a tough call.
Right?
Yeah.
So my second one is also, as I said, on Archive of Our Own, and it is called Threefold Law by Rubber Turian Trash. Okay. So, and the fandom here is Mass Effect. This I do not know anything about. I never played any of them.
Most of one and very little of two. Which is one of my greatest failings as a modern gamer, that I haven't played the entire Mass Effect trilogy.
I read most of the way through this before I realized that these weren't human beings.
Not all of them are, no.
Neither of these two characters are.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the cooler things about Mass Effect is that there are all kinds of alien races, and that you can fuck most of the characters.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So this is, the characters are Lantar Sidonis, an original male Krogan character.
Krogan's a race, but I don't remember. Are they the fucking huge, burly, ugly guys?
Well, yes, perhaps. They're big and ugly.
Okay, so yeah.
They look kind of like a weird fish.
Yeah.
And the other character, he is, if you want to continue Googling, he is something else. Some other kind of race.
So, listeners at home, if you don't feel like Googling, you can just Google Krogan.
Turian. Turian, Turian. Turian.
If you don't feel like Googling, a Krogan, imagine a Warhammer 40,000 orc crossed with a shark. And a Turian is the test that you give a computer to find out whether it's sentient or not. But instead, these guys are like weird, ridgy alien dudes. They're vaguely humanoid, but they're kind of pointy. And they've got a lot of creases in their face. Yeah, and extraneous bits coming off of their heads. But I would recommend guessing both of these so that you can get the proper picture in your head if you haven't played the Mass Effect series.
Yeah. So, from what I am led to believe, this Sidonis character is in prison, and there is a riot going on. His door is open, and he's not escaping for reasons.
Are those reasons expounded, or does it just say 4 reasons?
He figured the riot would fail, and those involved would be punished, and he doesn't want any part of that, so he stayed behind.
Pretty fair assumption, actually.
Yeah. So he's sitting there in his rubber prison outfit, which fit to his curves and locked onto his body at the neck, wrists, and ankles with bulky metal shackles to prevent removal without either a key or a plasma torch. So he's sitting there in his rubber suit, waiting for this riot to be over, and he hears heavy footsteps. So he's waiting, he hears heavy footsteps. And just outside the hall, the heavy-built Krogan lumbered along. A large fellow, he was rather young for a Krogan. More malignant than Sidonis, he had stayed behind during the riot, only to see if anyone would hang around. One more score would be more than worth it. His suit was similar to Sidonis's, but lacked a collar lock, instead opting to cover the head completely, leaving lenses for the eyes and breathing holes, and sufficient space for full head movement. The rest was form-fitting and showed off his large, semi-unsheathed package and gratuitous quad.
Wad?
Quad.
Oh, okay. I was going to have to start referring to my junk as wad.
Please don't.
But,
so he comes over to Sidonis and he says, "You have to come with me or I'm going to shoot you," because he has stolen a gun from a guard. And Sidonis says, okay. And he follows this guy. And he leads him to a shower room. And there's 2 dead guards and prisoners in the room. And so they go to the other side where there aren't dead bodies.
And they totally start making out.
Well, sort of. He tells him to get to his knees and that he's going to not kill him. He's going to have a bit of fun with him. Sidonis gulped. He knew exactly what he meant. The Krogan laughed again before walking over to look Sidonis in the eye. But of course, I ain't no rapist. If you want, you can get up and leave right now. It'll be just as fun chasing you down.
That's a solid bit of logic. I think I'm going to use that one from now on.
Or you can be a nice little cock sleeve and let me do whatever I want.
Wait.
You choose.
Did he say cock sleeve or did you misspeak?
Nope. He said cock sleeve.
Cock sleeve. Oh man, I love that so much.
So either you can agree to let me have sex with you or I'm going to chase you down and do it anyway, assumably. So because I'm not a rapist. Right? Yeah, right, exactly. Not rape.
I think that any law enforcement professional would agree with us right now.
Sidonis sighed, and if I stay and do what you want, you'll let me live? I mean, I have no intentions of killing you during the process, but I can't make any guarantees that you won't die by accident.
I guess I don't know what a Krogan dick is like. Maybe it's barbed and venomous?
So Sidonis sighs heavily and says, okay, fine. Yeah. And the Krogan is excited and happy to hear this. His eyes glowed blue yet again. The blue orbs around Sidonis's... And blue orbs appeared around Sidonis's wrists and ankles. Sorry, that was the ice machine. Holding him in place and moving him to the height of the Krogan's massive cock. Rotating him so his mouth was just underneath the shower head. So... this dude apparently has some sort of telekinesis abilities. Because he's just lifted this guy off the ground and turned him, and his arms and legs are restrained via some sort of invisible...
I don't remember Krogans having that, but I might just be misremembering.
I don't know. The Krogan stepped over Sidonis, reaching to grab the shower head. With 4 massive fingers, he tore the head directly from the shower hose, stripping the threading. Had the facility had power, the wires inside would have been live, but the generators were destroyed in the riot. Do showers have wires?
I was about to ask that.
I'm pretty sure
I don't think that they do.
This person...
although this is a space shower.
But, so?
So, in space everything has wires, right?
I guess. Either that or this author's never done any home improvements. So, what? Oh, I get jokes.
There you.
Yeah, I'm just not amused. Anyway. Sidonis remained quiet, sure that making a remark would decrease his chances of surviving this. The Krogan took his razor-sharp claw and poked a hole in his suit, dragging it upwards like a zipper until his giant, fully erect, bright orange length practically flew out of the suit. He then grabbed Sidonis'
You know that it's bright orange because it is venomous. That's how nature lets you know that things...
It's got scary eyes on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, that would be to protect it against anyway. He then grabbed Sidonis' thigh and ripped a similarly sized hole in his suit, leaving his tight ass on display.
What? Oh, okay. I thought he was going to fuck his thigh.
No.
I was like, how's that going to work?
Anyway, no, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. Grabbing the hose once again, he lowered it into Sidonis' mouth. He struggled briefly, and his plates showed his fear. His face plates, I guess, because he's got weird...
they totally got that.
But he accepted the hose. The Krogan held it in place with another small biotic field, ensuring he wouldn't spit it out. He forced the hose down Sidonis' esophagus, ensuring he wouldn't drown, and eliciting choking sounds from the bound Turian. Then turned on the shower, causing water to rush into Sidonis' throat and into his flat stomach. Sidonis grunted confusion as the warm, filtered water began to force its way into him. He didn't have to do much work of swallowing the water, as the position of the hose did that for him. A wave of nausea hit the Turian, signaling that his stomach was starting to get full, but the sensation passed with time. He tried to spit out the hose, asked Krogan what was doing, but to no avail.
What do?
It didn't matter what he was doing. Sidonis was going to be subjected to it. The Krogan chuckled evilly, laying a hand on the Turian's stomach feeling it rise as it began to stretch to accommodate the water. The sensation made his cock throb, and he moved to Sidonis's ass, sticking his fingers inside and stretching it out, with a moan and a muffled cry from the Turian. He then grabbed onto both of his legs and put the tip of his manhood between his legs. See, this is where that his business starts to get confusing.
Pronouns, dude. How do they work?
He stood his ground and moved the biotic fields applied to the Turian to slowly force his ass atop the Krogan's length. So he's moving him up and then putting him back down on top.
Okay.
His lower abdomen bulged with his meaty tip. So that's how big it is, I guess.
Yep. Very venomous.
Sidonis shrieked in pain as the Krogan penetrated his tight pucker. We should really make this into a drinking game. Anytime anyone says pucker, I think we probably have to drink a bottle
of sour apple pucker.
I think I have some. Jeez, bitch, you're fucking tight. You never get dick before? He grunted as he hilted.
Ooh. I don't know that I've ever heard that used as a verb before.
I haven't either, but I'm intrigued.
I like that, yeah.
It sounds dirty, but kind of elegant.
Right, yeah, it's like a distinguished gross.
Yeah. The Turian shook his head. Well, shit, I'm delivering a once-in-a-lifetime experience, Sidonis. Best you enjoy it. Sidonis could only groan around the hose and biotic field. His stomach started to bloat with water as it gushed into his stomach and through his intestinal tract. His previously toned body was now convex and dome-shaped. He shrieked again as the Krogan slowly pulled back his monstrous cock. He ensured to leave nothing but the tip within his virgin crack before he rammed himself right back in. Sidonis almost laughed despite himself. He wasn't sure if something in the water was starting to get to him or if he had finally gone mad. His belly now bulged out much further than intended, and his stomach began to ache from the building pressure. He would say felt like a living water balloon. I think we're missing some words there.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the length buried at least 1.5 feet or so inside of him.
Jesus.
That's real big, right?
And venomous.
Like... good boy. That's it, the Krogan moaned.
Ugh.
Rubbing his meaty hands against Sidonis's huge distended tummy. That grossed me out the most.
See, but that's gross in a way that, like, if that's your thing, like, whatever, I don't know. I have a hard time dealing with the, ooh, yeah, good girl, or, like, whatever.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, like, no, it's super gross.
Or good boy, same thing. Like, I just can't. As long as you're consenting adults, do whatever you like. I'm gonna squint up my face.
He's doing it. It had now grown to roughly the size of a beach ball, the strain evident on both...
Oh, I thought you meant the penis for a second. Okay, I got you now.
The strain evident on both the taut skin of his belly and the pained expression on his face, his brow plates and mandibles pressed together in a tight wince. He breathed heavily through his nostrils, a sharp, stabbing sensation running through his torso. Oh, gosh, this is so long, but, like, I don't want to take any of it out. So I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
What's the matter? Getting a little tight for you? The Krogan chuckled as he picked up speed. This time, with no break between his thrusts, he began a solid rhythm. Their scaly bodies met and smacked. Sidonis' belly jiggled with each thrust, the water in him sloshing about. And all Sidonis could do was squirm and struggle in a desperate attempt to accommodate the combined intrusions. To Sidonis, it was confusing. He was clearly in sharp pain, yet he found himself fully erect, even leaking pre-cum on the rubber suit. His throbbing length found its way to the hole in his suit, flicking out and spraying a small gush of pre on the Krogan's chest. There's another shot.
What? A gush of pre? Like, man, I've had a penis for nigh on 30 years at this point.
Like 32, right?
Right. Something like that. So, a penis that could produce
what?
for neon.
This is getting real intimate.
For neon 20. I don't know it to have ever gushed in any circumstance.
Well, it says flicking out and spraying a small gush. So would you say that it sprayed ever? I
mean, I guess maybe. Like, pie in the sky, ideal pre-gushing scenario.
There is no such thing. There would be none. That would be the...
Let's say you built up a glob of pre, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you take the palm of your hand and you push down on your erection as hard as you possibly can.
Okay.
And then you're just like,
so it flings back.
Maybe the spring reaction is enough to fling.
Well, see, as you were speaking, I thought, so his erect member is still inside of his tight rubber suit. So with the motion
flinging the other way.
Well, no. So with the motion of their bodies smacking together, maybe that's just like squeezed it out, like through the hole in the rubber suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes more sense.
That's what I'm imagining.
Okay, I hadn't thought of that. But
if we have to get specific, like that's what I'm... I still think a gush is maybe the wrong word for that.
No,
like I would go with spurt.
I'll never be able to eat gushers again.
I think I have some in my pantry.
Let alone spurters.
Sidonis' abdomen continued to grow bigger and rounder as the Krogan thrusted faster and deeper. Sidonis, how can you get deeper than 1.5 feet?
I mean, don't you remember when you were in like 4th grade, your teacher told you that your intestines could like wrap around the world 4 times?
Yeah, that's
true. That's complete bullshit, but just think about that if you have to think about it.
All right, I do have to think about it. For all you fine listeners, I have to think about this. Sidonis released all the gurgled cries he could in a mixture of pleasure and pain, unsure as to what he should be feeling. His skin stretched even tighter, the seams of his suit beginning to strain, and a stitch finally snapped with a pop, providing a small glimpse of his ballooning belly. The Krogan leaked in Sidonis, at least half a liter of pre-cum, inflating him even further in an instant. Can we just pause here? That's almost 17 ounces of pre.
So that's more than... or that is roughly the size of a Coke that you would buy for $2 in the cooler at your 7-Eleven.
Yeah. So...
That's a fair
To
bit.
call that leaked, I think is a bit of an overstatement, or an understatement, rather. So, leaked half a liter, not a leak.
Jesus.
Unless it's from, like, the ocean. Anyway. So now he's got... that plus all the hose water inside
Right,
of him.
so the hose is still in his mouth? That was what I wanted to ask you.
Yes,
So it's
the hose
still
is still in his mouth, yes. The Turian began to doubt how much more he could hold. His tummy had grown to an impressive but painful 4 feet in diameter, towering near the top of the Krogan's head.
4 feet?
His skin had taken a similar shine as the rubber catsuit failing before his eyes. Nevertheless, the Krogan continued to fuck him, moaning and growling in ecstasy at how hot he found his living sex toy, willing and ready to do whatever it took for his own life. What? The ecstasy, he's willing to do whatever to save his own life.
Oh, okay.
The ecstasy began to fade from Sidonis as the pain in his abdomen grew even more intense, his belly swelling out a further inch with every passing moment. Water spread down his body and into his cock.
I don't think that works that
causing
way.
it to become tight and expand as well, growing in width.
Speaking as an encocked individual, I don't think that works that way.
Growing in width from 1.5 inches to an easy 3, gaining another 2 inches in length. Sidonis began to cry out around the hose, begging the Krogan to turn off the pump.
That's like 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right? The Krogan ignored his cries, instead turning the showerhead on to full blast as Sidonis screamed. The Krogan thrust harder and harder, turned on further by Sidonis' cries. He shrieked in agony as he began to balloon out even faster, his massive 6-foot belly causing his catsuit to fail completely. That's a pretty strong catsuit if it made it this far.
It went from 4 feet to 6 feet that fast?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Ripping from the sides and showing off his impressively bloated abdomen. His belly had become translucent and slightly blue, the blood pumping through his vessels faster and faster as the Krogan had his way with him. He continued to expand, his suit pushing to the side to let his whole girth through. His cock was now so large and waterlogged that the Krogan could rest his head on its tip as he plowed Sidonis. Fuck, I think you're gonna explode soon, moaned the Krogan, still thrusting away faster than ever. Sidonis, in response, let out more screaming, pleading the Krogan to stop the flow. He really did feel like he was about to burst like an overfilled balloon. That's all he was to the Krogan, an overfilled balloon. Well, not before I come anyway, promised the Krogan, although to be honest, he didn't really care.
Wait, which one of them didn't care? God damn you pronouns.
Right? Mystery. Here's where it gets weirder, in my opinion. Well, maybe less believable? Okay, anyway. He put his mouth on Sidonis's head and began to firmly blow, inflating him further with a satisfying gurgle.
So he's got
so he's
a balloon knot on the back.
I mean, it just says his head. Yeah, it doesn't say his mouth or his nose. Just, he's blowing into his head. This caused Sidonis to moan, pleasure suddenly returning, in between screams. His stomach, now a colossal 8 feet, it was now bigger than the Krogan was tall. The Krogan bucked, feeling a climax coming on. He removed his cock completely from the Turian and slammed it back in full force. Sidonis himself had been waiting to release his own load for a good while, and he hoped he didn't pop before he had the chance. The Krogan held the cum in his urethra and gave one...
hold on, 1 second.
Okay.
He hoped he didn't pop before he had the chance to what?
To cum. He'd been holding his...
Oh, so pop there wasn't a euphemism for cum.
Pop
it literally
was,
meant
literally
pop.
Explode. Yeah. The Krogan held the cum in his urethra and gave one more firm blow into Sidonis's tip. Oh! He wasn't talking about the head on his shoulders.
Oh, the other head. So hold on, I want to rewind you like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Remember a couple episodes ago when I was reading a story and there was something about a lady who was holding her juices back?
Yes.
And I asked you if that was a thing that you could do, and you told me emphatically no. I'm here to tell you no. You can't. That does not work that way.
Well, but see...
Although I'm not a Krogan.
Go back
or Kroger
to this
or
story,
whatever.
though. He blew into his peen.
But I thought this was the other guy.
What? No. Sidonis himself had been waiting to release his own load for a good while, and he hoped he didn't pop before he had the chance. The Krogan held the cum in his urethra and gave one more firm blow into Sidonis's tip. So he's trying to come, but the other guy's blowing it back in.
Right, but I thought it was saying that the Krogan was trying not to.
No, the Krogan isn't. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking that to mean that the Krogan is holding the cum in the other guy's urethra and gave one firm blow to Sidonis's tip. So he's like, no way, not on my watch. I'm going to blow it back in there.
Okay.
That's how I'm picturing it. This pushed the Turian over the edge, causing him to cry out and spurt light blue semen and water all over the Krogan. The Krogan let out a ferocious roar and blew his massive load into the Turian. Can you see where this is going? The Krogan blew volcanic loads, easily powering through Sidonis' entire lower intestinal tract.
Like Superman.
The Krogan's cum is nearly incompressible, thick like jelly. The addition of this thick fluid left Sidonis' overinflated body unable to compensate any further as his body finally reaches his limit. The Krogan let go of his bondage, and Sidonis let out one final, loud, unmuffled scream of intense agony, his cock attempting in vain to rid his body of the fluid, squirting it all over the Krogan and the ceiling. The damage was done, however. The Krogan was coming too fast, and Sidonis' belly exploded like a grenade as he hit the floor. The Krogan was knocked on his rear end as the tidal wave of water, Turian and Krogan semen, shrapnels of skin and blood, hit him with immeasurable force, worthy of the tidal explosion. The Krogan laid on the floor of the bathroom, the white walls stained blue with Sidonis' blood. The bottom half of the Turian lay at his feet, the other half cast across the room. He laid down and basked in the afterglow of the experience. When the authorities arrived 2 hours later, they found the entire room stained and the Krogan fast asleep. They first assumed he was dead as well, but after confirming he wasn't, he was booked for the rape and murder of Lantar Sidonis by way of guilty plea, and his sentence was extended from 100 years to life. Not like it mattered much to the Krogan, though. Riots are easy enough to incite. End.
That's, you said, you see where this is going, right? Mm-hmm. But I actually did not at all. That was not where I was expecting that to go. Because all of the stuff that I read in research, never did someone actually explode to the point of death from from this. So I didn't think that was part of the community or whatever. So
you can see why I picked that one, because of the explosion.
Yeah, I'm really curious what the last one is, if that wasn't the one that you picked for last.
Well, see, this one's grosser, but the other one is just weird.
I think that was pretty fucking weird.
Okay,
too,
yeah, but I don't know. I probably should have ended that one in retrospect.
No, it's fine.
But I didn't. So
I wasn't expecting him to explode and die from cum.
Right.
My next entry is called Naruto Expansion 4. What an inventive title.
Wow, that is... Oh god, not Naruto again.
By Lightning Blade 1 on fanfiction.net.
Oh god, please tell me nobody gets eaten.
So Naruto...
Oh god, you're not telling me that.
So Naruto finds a ninja spellbook, but it's mostly about sex stuff, and it's mostly about how to make sexy parts of people's bodies bigger. So he's just running about like a madman throughout his ninja village, making all of the girls' tits huge.
Wow, that's...
so that's parts 1 through 3, basically, which I didn't read, but that's the gist that I gained, right? But now he's come to the realization in part 4 that sometimes rampant use of Hooter magic can have unintended consequences.
Is that actually written on there?
No, this is my reading of the
gotcha.
Subtext.
Because I really liked that. That should be the tagline. Whatever the tagline is, it's not good enough.
So Ino, I'm going to guess that's how you pronounce that, who I guess is one of his lady ninja friends, she feels like she has been left out of the expansion party, and all of the available dude ninjas are quickly becoming snapped up by enormous boobed lady ninjas. Side note, having huge tits seems like it would be an enormous disadvantage for a ninja, no? Like my wife and I started watching the newest season of Hell's Kitchen the other night, and there's this lady on there who my wife Megan and I also fantasy draft Hell's Kitchen. We wait until they prepare their signature dish, and then we draft the competitors into 2 teams, and we see who does a better job of figuring out who's going to stay the longest.
That seems pretty cool.
It's really fun. It adds a lot of... I heard people used to do not used to do, but still do bachelor drafts. And so that's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
But I don't watch The Bachelor, but I do watch Hell's Kitchen.
Some people I know who probably don't want their names in this podcast do that.
But so we started drafting Hell's Kitchen, and it's a lot of fun. But there's one lady who went relatively highly in this new draft who is an amateur boxer, and she has enormous breasts. Like, I would think those would just get so in the way in so many ways
I would think
if
so.
you were a semi-competitive or a semi-professional boxer. But whatever. Anyway.
I would think so too.
But so he's about to go with more of the same. He's like, oh, Ino seems sad that she doesn't have huge tits. I'll give her huge tits too. But then he decides to change it up. Breast expansion Naruto suddenly stopped. There was no point in expanding Ino's breast. Sasuke wasn't an idiot. Even if he made Ino just as big as Sakura, Sasuke would probably stick with Sakura, at the very least to keep up appearances. And if he made Ino bigger than Sakura, then he would only depress Sakura out. Depress out is a great turn of phrase. I'm depressed out as shit. Maybe it's time for a new jutsu. Searching through his head, Naruto thought about what would make Ino sexy. Butt expansion. Naruto finally decided. The only issue with this was that the butt expansion jutsu was one of the hardest ones with an apostrophe in the stack of scrolls he had bought. It required massive amounts of chakra at the right times to work properly. But the thought of Ino with a massive ass was perfect. Okay, here it goes. Naruto swung his head back down over the side of the roof and peered into Ino's room. Gathering his chakra, he focused and... butt expansion jutsu! Ino sat on her bed.
That sounds complicated.
I know, right? It's like the Harry Potter universe. They don't really explain what goes into any of this. Ino sat on the bed. The thought of Sasuke and Sakura together still stuck in her head. She was so depressed right now. She was positively depressed out. That doesn't actually say that.
Man.
I'm sorry. And yet, there was a little pleasant sensation coursing, like salt would be coarse, through her. A very pleasant sensation.
Stop that.
Almost as if someone was rubbing her ass.
Almost.
Suddenly, her bed moved a leet, And looking down, Ino saw her butt vibrate a few times, wiggling back and forth. Suddenly it shot out, and a orgasmic sensation filled her whole body. Oh my god, this is so good! Her hips began to widen slightly, and her butt continued to grow, shooting out even more. The white linen clothes that were tied around her bottom half began to... I like that they don't describe the clothes, they just call them clothes. The white linen clothes...
That's actually really unusual for a fanfiction.
You know,
they usually
right?
go
They
into
usually
super
go
detail
super
about
detail.
what they're wearing.
That were tied around her bottom half began to strain as her new booty continued.
Her new booty continued.
Each butt cheek swelled outward, growing till they were now the size of basketballs, that's 2 different words, and continued on. Her hips were now as wide as her shoulders, and her ass jiggled back and forth, soon tearing through the white linen cloth. Her black panties had been, God, I hate that word so much, had been swallowed by her massive ass.
What about be a good girl and take off your panties? How was that?
My dick inverted.
You're welcome.
Her black panties had been swallowed by her massive ass and became a barely seeable thong. Oh God, yes, yes, Ino cried out. Her ass was jiggling quite wildly now. A few moments later, the jiggling stopped. I'm picturing that episode of The Simpsons where Dr. Hibbert slaps Homer's gut. A few moments later, the jiggling stopped, leaving her with beach ball-sized butt cheeks.
I mean...
Damn, girl.
I've seen that in real life, though. Like, it's not so...
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I saw the weirdest butt at the movies once. I took a picture of it because I'm that guy. But I didn't put it on the internet because I'm not quite that guy.
We'll put it on the blog. Speaking of which, make the blog.
Yeah, I guess I can do that now that I don't have to go to work.
Yeah, I know, right? Ino leapt off the bed and ran over to the mirror. Turning around, she checked out her new booty. It was taut and firm, yet soft and jiggly. And her hips were wide. This is so great. I can't, no apostrophe, believe it. If whoever did this was here right now, I'd fuck them so much. Ino continued to check out her backside in the mirror. Hinata's growth had been wonderful. I'm guessing that's a different name for Ino. And Sakura's sexy, but Ino's. Naruto could barely contain himself. That ass was fine. While Ino looked herself over in the mirror, Naruto stared through the window at her fabulous ass. Every time Ino moved, her booty jiggled, and her panties turned thong crept a little deeper into her crack.
Please tell me there's commas there. Her panties, comma, turned thong.
That'd be a great Twitter name if it would fit. Crept a little deeper into her crack. My God, Naruto thought, it'd kill to have a few moments alone with. Suddenly Ino said, "You can come in now, Naruto," continuing to admire her booty. Shit, how did she know I was here, Naruto thought. I can see you in the mirror, idiot, Ino said, as if answering his question, comma. Reluctantly, Naruto climbed through the window and fell into Ino's room. Gazing up from the floor, Naruto stared up at Ino's massive ass. That's the second time they've used the phrase massive ass, and I really, really like it. Like,
it flows nice.
I feel like that should be the name of an indie game studio. Massive ass.
I can see it.
Yeah. I guess you must have heard of me before when this was happening, right? That's why you were peeping on me. Normally, it'd hit a guy for doing something so perverted, but I'm too happy right now. I don't suppose you know who did this, Ino asked, finally turning around to face Naruto. Her butt almost knocked the mirror over as she did.
It's like a wrecking ball.
This was it, Naruto thought. Finally, I get rewarded properly for my hard work. He could just imagine all the kinky thing he and Ino would do once he told her who had given her the amazing new ass. Well, I did. Suddenly, Ino was very silent. This wasn't really the reaction he had been hoping for. Ino began to walk towards Naruto, who was still sitting on the floor. This was more like it. So you're, Y-O-U-R, the one who's been expanding all the girls? Ino turned around and began rubbing her ass up against Naruto. Yep, me all right. Naruto was barely paying attention, who was too busy admire Ino's butt up close and personal. So that means Hinata's body and Sakura's breasts. That was you? Yeah. Suddenly Ino span around and grabbed hold of Naruto and threw him to the floor. Before he could react, Ino turned around and sat her massive booty down upon Naruto's chest, pinning him to the floor. Naruto gazed up as Ino peered down at him. Her milky white legs were right by his head. So you're, spelled Y-O-U-R, the one who stole my Sasuke, Ino yelled at Naruto. Stole? I didn't, no apostrophe, Naruto tried to say, but Ino's massive ass made it difficult to breath, let alone talk. If you hadn't, no apostrophe, made Sakura so huge, then Sasuke wouldn't be hers, no apostrophe, right now. Well, I guess that's no apostrophe, one way to put it, Naruto managed to sputter out. But that's why I gave you this butt. So maybe now you can get him back. So you're, spelled Y-O-U-R, offering to help me get Sasuke back, is what I'm hearing? Naruto was about to tell her no, but suddenly Ino moved forward, and her massive ass now covered Naruto's face. Yes, Naruto murmured. The butt was making it hard to breathe, but it felt so good. If he had to die, this would be a very good way to go. Good. See, 'cause you've got a plan. You're, spelled incorrectly again, going to take me to the festival tomorrow night, and you will worship my butt. Sasuke will get so jealous he'll dump Sakura on the spot. Naruto gave a little nod. Good. Ino got up off Naruto, who glad he was able to breathe again, yet a part of him wished the face sitting had lasted a bit longer. Ino turned around and went back to the mirror, moving her hands back as she spent a few seconds rubbing her colossal ass. She gave it a slap. Colossal ass would also be a really good name for an indie dev studio. She gave it a slap and watched as it jiggled a bit. Suddenly her face flushed in pleasure. But I need to keep this a secret for the next few days, at least till the festival. That way it'll blow everyone away. Naruto, would you be able to shrink it back down just a little? It's no apostrophe going to be too tough keeping this a secret when it's no apostrophe so big and round. Ino went back to feeling up her butt. Actually, the scrolls never said anything about deflation in them, Naruto said. Damn. Well, since you offered to help, you're, Y-O-U-R, going to have to move in for a few days, Ino stated. Move in? But why? Well, my parents are out of town and someone has to run the flower shop, and if I try to run the place, my little secret will get out. So you'll have to move in till the festival and run things. And if anyone asks, just say I'm sick. Soon Sasuke will be all mine again. Ino slapped her ass again, even harder this time. It jiggled a little more wildly this time, and a moan of pleasure escaped Ino. On second thought, who needs Sasuke? Maybe it's no apostrophe. Time I get a new man. Oh, Naruto, would you mind rubbing my ass a bit? There's an itch I can't, no apostrophe, seem to reach. Ino turned around and flashed Naruto a seductive smile, grabbing a hold of her panties and turned thong. She pulled it out and let go. Letting them snap back, she flushed a little more in pleasure. A while later, Naruto awoke. Memories of the last few hours crept back into his mind, and oh, what good memories they were. Sitting in the large bed, Naruto spent a few moments thinking about how good the new moves had made his life. Turning over, Naruto looked at Ino. There's no period there, even though there probably should be one. Who slept peacefully, curled up next to Naruto. Her massive, creamy, milk white, there's a comma in between the two, booty was pressed right up against Naruto and seemed to give a slight quiver and shake with every breath he took. Man, I love my new moves.
Is that the end?
That's the end.
Oh.
Now, there are several more chapters.
Right.
That was the only chapter that I took because I was specifically looking for butt expansion, and butt expansion was surprisingly hard to find.
That was way better than the last Naruto.
It was not as disturbing as the last Naruto. I'll give you that. I liked the butt expansion. I liked how happy she was with her own butt expansion. I
agree, although I would have appreciated if he'd have gotten consent before he inflated butt.
That's true, but the fact that she was sitting there I guess that technically doesn't count, but she was sitting there being all, like, crying, like, I'll never get a man now that my butt and boobs aren't big enough, and everyone else has huge boobs. In the land of the huge-boobed lady, the big-butted lady is queen. Yes, exactly.
But maybe she doesn't want to be queen. Like, again, he's taking this decision into his own hands without her.
This is completely off topic. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
This isn't as scary as it sounds like it's going to be.
I'm nervous.
Don't be.
I am.
What, pray tell, is Yas queen? My wife is laughing from the other room if you can't pick that up on the microphone.
What do you mean, what is it?
I've heard people say it. I have no comprehension of what it means.
It's like a praise, you know?
Oh, so like I would be saying to someone,
yeah,
as if obeying their command.
Sort of. Here, let me see if I can get a good know your meme definition for you.
Okay.
I am making the leaps to figure out how you got there. And I believe it is from the big-butted woman is queen comment, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is an excited affirmative statement or word of encouragement used in favor of someone's style or appearance. The phrase is often associated with use by gay men.
Oh.
So there you go.
All right. I'll keep that in
Does that
mind.
make sense?
I mean, no, it doesn't make sense, but
You get it?
I follow.
Okay.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to Slash and Burn. I am very proud to announce that we have another sponsor this week.
I can't wait.
The solipsism people were really excited, even though they couldn't, obviously confirm that any excessively generated interest within their... I don't understand.
Can I have another Oreo?
Oh, sure. I mean, the you that exists within my mind can have another Oreo that exists within my mind.
Just for being
anyway.
a jerk, I'm taking 2, so hope you're happy.
Anyhow, so the solipsism people are very happy, or at least they perceive to be happy. This week, we've got a message from the Meat Council, which I am very happy to present because, people know that I am all about meat. I own a bacon shirt, which is one of the things that I am least proud of in my entire life. Keep in mind, I bought it before bacon was an internet thing.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, I'm about to begin the ad copy. Meat! Don't think too hard about it. It's delicious. It's nutritious. It's institutionalized systemic suffering. But fuck that. Bacon is great, right? Put bacon in your cereal. Put sausage in your waffles. Put cat blood in your coconut water. Yummy. Don't think too hard. Meat. Don't think too hard. Yum. So you probably got a third story for us.
Yes. My third story, I usually like to leave the worst for 3. And again, I couldn't decide whether this one or the other one. Probably I've done it in the wrong order. But this one was just weirder. And also it's like my favorite fandom ever, so I left it for last.
I saw several Sherlocks and I was like, nah, I'll leave this for Kera.
I appreciate that. Yeah. We're gonna do a Sherlock episode for my birthday, but that's a little while away yet.
So it's a little bit off.
Also, I might just read good fan fictions that I like a lot, but I won't. But I want to.
I'll be so bored. But anyway,
some people might like it.
It's true.
Probably a lot of people. Anyway, this one is called Tadpoles. By the author
saw
Salty
this one
Locks.
too, and I left it alone very specifically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is on Archive of Our Own. It starts out very much the way that the same series does, except not quite, because John meets Mike Stanford, and he's back, and he's looking for a place to live, but that doesn't really play into this, because they're at a bar, and the bartender is Sherlock, and John's like, oh man, that dude's super hot, and
so... is this an owl?
Kind of.
Definitely,
Sherlock? Because it gets way more...
But so Sherlock and John don't know...
Each other? No, okay. They don't. This is their first meeting, and they are meeting with Sherlock bartending. And he's like, that dude's hot, and he ends up having him come home with him. And they spend the night together, and in the morning, it's just kind of a one-night stand kind of thing. And in the morning, he notices that his stomach feels kind of rumbly, but he figures he just ate something weird, and... carried on with his life. So the next morning, his stomach still feels weird, and he still decides that it's fine. About 2 weeks after the one-night stand, John was at work finishing up some paperwork. Standing up to leave and have some lunch, he felt a little churn in his abdomen. Hugging himself, he let out a small gasp. John looked down at himself, his stomach rumbling, straining against his belt. Touching his skin, it felt squishy and hot. Diane, he called out to his secretary, cancel all my appointments for the afternoon. You're not feeling well, Dr. Watson? I just need to lay down for a bit, I think. Maybe a good night's sleep, he assured her, clutching his stomach. On the bus home, John had to press his legs together tightly, as he could feel the churning inside him pressing downwards like water. Maybe he had been poisoned? Sweating buckets and grabbing himself, trying to not let anything out, He was thankful the bus was almost empty. He left a small greenish stain on the seat as he got off a couple of feet from his apartment door, but he couldn't be bothered, his abdomen starting to hurt even more now.
I was going to make a joke about Charlie Bucket's less famous older brother, but now that
you're just grossed out?
Yeah. Ew, a greenish stain?
Uh-huh.
Ew.
Wait. Just wait.
Oh, okay. Was he fucked by Mossman Sherlock? Like, what?
Wait.
That's a shout out to this week's Comedy Bang Bang, by the way. Anyway, go on. I listened to other podcasts. There was some Mossman.
John felt lightheaded and undressed as he walked through the apartment, feeling slightly nauseous and not at all well. He stopped in front of the bedroom mirror, his face paling in shock, poking his big bloated belly. Right then, yes, he definitely felt something moving inside. Not just a churn, but a twist in the liquid. John spread his legs...
Twist in the liquid?
You're good. It's like a fly in the ointment. A twist in the liquid. John spread his legs in front of the mirror, curious despite the pain, needing to bear witness to whatever this was. His genitals...
What does spreading his legs have to do with his stomach?
I think... Just wait.
That's just his happy place. His spread eagle in front of a mirror. That's his mind palace.
Okay, alright, let me finish.
That was the sexiest noise I've ever heard.
I'm not even drunk.
Just drunk on Oreo.
Yep. Oreos and pizza. I'm living the dream. Anyway, John spread his legs in front of the mirror, curious despite the pain, needing to bear witness to whatever this was. His genitals... I can't finish.
That's not how you say that at all.
I can't... Just give me a second. I'm crying. I can't even see the keyboard.
The genitals. They're the Christian themed CGI dick and balls and vulva themed children's series, right?
Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. Let me get these tears out of my eyes so I can read. All right. His genitals sensitive and red. He bent over and relaxed. The liquid rushed out of him as he let go, and he couldn't help but bite his lip and moan with some of the pressure gone.
From where? From
Do you need me to spell it out from you?
His butt or his penis?
His butt.
Okay.
Well,
it doesn't say that. Why would you bend over to do that?
Spray.
That would... Exactly.
Let me finish.
That's why I thought maybe it was his dick, because if you bend over and it comes out of your dick, then it is in a nice little pool.
We'll get there.
Okay, all right.
Cool it. The liquid coming out of him was greenish and clear. The glass mirror felt cool, and he pressed his head against it, breathing for a while. He reached back to feel himself, his asshole protruding somewhat. And he stood up to get a better angle. He had made a mess, green running down his legs and onto the carpet. But he forgot all about it the next moment because something was turning again deep inside of him. Looking down, John could see the skin of it on his abdomen protrude, making his belly distended and big, and it felt like it was moving, looking for a way out. He had never seen anything like it. Breathing deep, he felt the squirming again, the twisting inside him. Spreading his legs wide, there was something pushing against his inner walls, trying to make its way out. John's head swam, and he couldn't help but gasp as a pressure moved downwards. He leaned back against the bed, waiting, but nothing happened, the wiggling feeling pushing down and then pausing before disappearing back into his body. John stayed there, breathing heavily, but all was still. So he is super confused, but still super horny, as the story says, and maybe he should take care of that first, ? Thinking of that feeling, the wiggling deep in his abdomen, John had no problem reaching climax. Laying back, he noticed his cum being tinted green too, and smelling sweet. It was probably one of the least weird things about the last few weeks, though, and he still felt horny, so he kept stroking himself, thinking of the wiggle inside of him. It making him feel so good, he came again and again. There was no stopping the feeling of being more and more aroused, and he was several fingers in and all lubed up with his own greenish cum when the churning and wiggling started again. By then he welcomed it, too far gone to be alarmed, when the little squirming in his ass pressed down in a steady stream, pooling into his hands. There are too many to count, little purple tadpoles, wiggling around in the puddle of green cum he had produced. John looked at them and sighed, hoping it meant it was over. He got up to get a bowl to put them in. He wondered if he should be more worried, but he felt strangely calm about the whole thing, like he almost expected it. Filling up a plastic wash basin, the feeling beginning anew, and John realized that there still got to be more inside of him. Lukewarm water had to do for the ones on the bed, and he scooped the first batch up quickly as another was making his stomach churn and his genitals swell. There was nothing he could do as he felt them moving, other than feeling full and a little nauseous, like the creatures weren't just pushing down and out of his ass, but also moving higher. He barely felt sick before vomiting up another bunch of the tadpoles. There had to be at least 50 of them, and he accidentally almost dragged some of them down into his lungs while gasping for air. Moving to the bathroom, washing the sweat of his face, John started to wonder if his newfound state could be related to the guy he met at the bar. Because, boy, they had sex all night, in all kinds of constellations. And every one of these times he swallowed that guy's cum, he was injected with some of these little beings. Then John felt a thrill in his stomach at the very idea of being knocked up with tadpoles because of that guy. But then the nausea came back and he vomited into his bathtub. Looking at the purple dots flipping around, he filled the whole tub up with water and dumped the other ones in there as well, because the bowl was probably going to be too small anyway. Looking at them made him feel sort of proud. Someone else might have flushed them down the toilet and tried to forget the whole thing. But John felt oddly connected to the creatures he had given birth to. There's more, but I'll wait till you collect yourself. Because the next line is a good one. Do you have any questions before I soldier on?
Can't think of any.
He barely had time to think that before he felt something crawl up his urethra. Right, he thought, cursing his weird kinks and the fact that the other guy was so happy to fulfill them. The purple tadpoles all get out of the way when John lowers himself into the bathtub. It was not as warm as it should be, but his skin was burning up and the water was nice and cool compared to it. The tadpoles was wiggling their small squishy bodies out of his dick and into the surrounding water, one at a time, and John couldn't help but lean back, moaning a little at the strange feeling. He sat there, hands grabbing the edge of the tub, watching another 30 or so make their way out of the tip of his dick, while feeling the small prickles of the others swimming around him, the small critters moving, their tiny mouths nibbling at his shin and the hairs of his legs. John faintly wondered if it was dangerous staying with them like this. He had no idea what they were, after all. Were the little creatures carnivorous? They wouldn't eat him, right?
I'm so dizzy.
I'm not done. He would be an easy prey, John chuckled to himself, being too tired to move or do anything else than add to their armies, like a great giant mother of some ancient saga. He liked that idea, though, looking down at the purple things. They were so tiny, and he had an urge to protect them. The wiggling inside of him began anew, and he sat up, his legs under him, his stance wide, as another wave washed through him. The tadpoles pushed out of him, so many of them, pressing against his insides, and he felt himself get hard again, leaking, and that seemed to set more of them off, making him nauseous for a second before throwing up more tadpoles, coughing and spitting out the last few as more of them rushed out of his ass. The relief of the pressure making him go down on all fours in the water, gasping for air as he felt tadpoles force their way out of him. Another batch in his ass, a couple tightly wiggling out of his dick, another in his throat. So
you were absolutely right to close with this one.
You think I made the right decision?
Yep.
So John passes out at that point, and when he wakes up again, he's still in the bathtub. He's feeling disturbingly empty, and around him are thousands of little purple spots moving around. There was a sudden, loud bang on the door. It startled him and the little ones, and he yelped as they all pressed tightly against him, wiggling inside wherever they could find a way in, his ass, his penis, his mouth and nose, and he swallowed them down again, no room to even think about anything else but breathing through them and trying not to crush them. His stomach was taut again, stuffed in every direction. John could feel them wiggle inside his guts, and he wondered again if he had become mad. Mostly, he couldn't get over how wonderful it felt to be stretched to the brim with his babies. And when they had turned from tadpoles into when had they turned from tadpoles into babies anyway? Wobbling to his feet, careful not to disturb them too much, he decided he would have to deal with his weird maternal feelings later. If this was PTSD, it had a funny way of showing itself. I have a little bit more. It's Mrs. Hudson at the door, asking if he's feeling okay. He says yes, he feels fine. He just has a stomach virus. Clean. Yeah, he says that. And she says she'll come back and check on him to go up tomorrow. And he says thanks, and she leaves. John could feel the tadpoles move again, ready to come out as soon as he closed the door. He turned on the tap slowly and got in the tub on all fours, and the little creatures flooded out of him and into the fresh water. Touching his balls, he could feel the ones inside move around and started to jerk them out, the sensation foreign but not unpleasant. His cum made them rush out of him, and it also helped to relax his throat and stomach muscles. Climaxing, the tadpoles flowed out, getting stuck everywhere in his urethra, his hair, his nose. He coughed them out of his lungs and had to finger himself for the last ones to come out of his ass. The empty feeling came back as he made sure they were all gone from him, and he felt ravenous. So he gets out of the bathtub and eats some food and calls work and says he's going to be sick for a while. Other stuff happens. Sherlock comes back and wants to raise them with him and whatnot. There's other chapters.
There's other chapters.
Yeah, there's other chapters. But that was the part of this that I wanted to share. Sherlock, I guess I should explain a little bit more. Sherlock comes and explains that he's an alien, and on his planet, that's how they have babies. But he didn't think that anyone on this planet would be able to carry his offspring. So he didn't think that it was going to be an issue, but it was. And so, yeah, that's basically man.
So, that was a good time.
Just wanted to share that with you because everybody needed to hear that.
That is pretty great. In light of that, and the fact that I wasn't 100% sure on this third story anyway, because while it is kind of an inflation story,
I felt like this one was more MPreg, but it came up in my belly inflation search.
And this one came up in my inflation search, but I think it's more centered on a different tag, which we will probably do in the future, which is lactation.
Ooh.
Right. So I think I am actually going to not read this one, and we're going to call it there. I'm going to go to my end of episode notes, which I'm going to get to eventually by pushing down the down button on my Microsoft Surface Pro 3. By the way, Microsoft, not only is Surface Pro 3 an amazing product,
Truly.
but your tech support is fantastic, especially compared to your competitors. So Microsoft, please give me money. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you. We hope we didn't gross you out too much, although that whole John with the tadpoles thing was a little weird. I didn't know that's where that story was going to go. I saw that it was called Tadpoles.
What do you think was
so
happen?
I kind of figured, but I didn't think it was going to be quite that explicit, where he's like literally digging in his own asshole to get the last ones out. Like that was a little further.
Spit all over my Microsoft Surface Pro 3. It's blue.
But you know what? Still works fine, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. I spilled breast milk in here the other week. It still works fine. Lactation.
Thing is a fucking truck. You cannot stop it. I had a problem with my Microsoft Surface Pro 3. I couldn't figure it out. I went to Microsoft's website. Even though I bought the shit secondhand, have no warranty information, you know what they did? They remoted into my Surface Pro 3, spent over an hour fixing the problem because all of the generic fixes that I had found on the internet to fix it didn't fix it. They called me Sir Steve.
Oh, right.
17 times. It was the most polite anyone has ever been to me.
Right.
And then I got to do other work while they fixed my fucking Surface. And then when it was all done, he said, "Thank you, Sir Steve, for being part of the Microsoft family."
Aww.
I know, right?
Adorable.
Microsoft, buy a Surface for Christ's sake and an Xbox and fuck Sony and their dicks. Anyway, thank you for listening, everyone. We love you. tell your friends. We're going to try to update more regularly. We were just speaking tonight about how we're going to try to get on a regular schedule to get this.
Like a schedule instead of just like, hey, you want to record tomorrow? Yes.
Right. And maybe also have more than one editor, because you might not know it by listening to the finished product, but this thing has got to be a pain in the testicles to edit. I cannot even imagine.
Nope.
Our editor has the patience of a fucking saint and the nothing else of a saint.
That's very accurate. I mean, like, you probably, the listener, think, man, this is a really long podcast, but you don't even know the hours that get cut, because we go on for hours.
Not to mention all of the ums and ers and uhs and a cat did it and all of that shit that probably gets taken out usually most of the time.
I've never actually listened to our podcast, so I don't know what gets taken out. But...
I thought that I would hate listening to it until Megan listened to it, and I was in the same place that she was listening to it, and I was like, we're really fucking funny.
I know.
And then I started listening to it.
When I'm listening to our editor edit, I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. Like, I'm sitting there laughing at us, even though I said it, and you said it. And we're really funny.
I have the biggest ego of any guy in...
What about me?
North, southeastern Pennsylvania. Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at Procrastinarian. I'm starting to use it a little bit more.
Are you?
Recently.
I haven't seen you use it.
Actually, a little bit. Are you using it?
No, but
You're at Empress Kera V.
I am. I look at Twitter, but I don't like Twitter or anything.
I'm using it a little bit more. By using it, I guess at this point, I mean I'm just looking at stuff. But I'm trying to get back into
I've been doing that forever.
More. I have not been. That's also the name of my Twitch stream, Procrastinarian. You can see me play a whole bunch of Metal Gear Solid 5. I've been playing the shit out of that. Holy Christ, is it good. I slept on it a little bit. My in-laws got me the collector's edition that has a cyber arm in it that is a replica of the cyber arm that the main character in the game has, and you can make it do all kinds of funny things. First, I had it giving metal fingers. Then I made it give the middle finger to my father-in-law, and he laughed, and I laughed, and then my brother-in-law laughed, and I felt bad, because even though he's 16, I think of him as a kid.
Dude.
Because he's half of my age. Holy shit, my brother-in-law is literally half of my age.
How's that feel?
Then my wife turned it into the shocker, and that's the way it has been sitting on our mantle ever since. But anyway, that's a great fucking game. If you haven't played that game, holy shit. I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to our audience. Procrastinarian is the name of my Twitch stream, where I stream a bunch of Metal Gear Solid 5. Kira, from all the way over there in the kitchen, from downtown! Yes! Do you have anything to plug?
No. Nothing that I want associated with this. I have a blog that I don't update very often. That's at EmpressKiraV.com.
There you go, EmpressKiraV.com. You can go there. She's got an Etsy shop.
I do.
That she doesn't want to tell you about. Tell you what, first listener to email us slashandburnpodcast@gmail.com and or slashandburnpud@gmail.com. You tell me the name of Kira's Etsy shop, I PayPal you $5. Wow. That is a promise from me, because I am rolling in that fat dead man's cross. Real money transaction cash.
It's not extremely hard to track down, but
it's not. But the first one of you that gets to me, $5. Honest to God, that's a real thing.
He'll do it. He's a lot of things, but he's not a liar.
That's true. I try very hard not to lie. Thanks again. See you next time. We'll be back next time with probably a fandom. Thank you for listening. Tell your friends. Don't tell my mom.
Don't tell mine either.
Yeah. Anyway, see you later. Bye.
Bye.